Hey guys, and welcome back to the place where you can learn about circus fitness, handstand tips, and the life of a circus artist. If you're new here, my name is Ellen Henry, and I hope you are having a good morning, a good day, or a good evening. And today's video is all about improving your middle splits for handstands. So straight off the bat, I would just like to say that having your middle splits, or at least like their middle splits, or at least working on them. Let's just say that. When you actually work on your middle splits, it makes a whole bunch of handstand skills a lot easier. So things like your press to handstand, even just kicking up to handstand, having some flexibility helps with that. Yeah, so it's really good for straddle jumps, the one similar to V-sit, but like a straddle sit, I guess you would call it. It also helps with more advanced skills like shoulder presses, doing a straddle press from your feet on the ground, and also things like planches. So working on your middle splits is so good for all of those skills. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's jump straight into these stretches. So the first one that we're going to start with is a little hamstring stretch, but with your legs slightly wider apart than if you were to do it like this. So feet sort of like in a triangle. And you also want to make sure that you're keeping your back nice and flat and not rounding it. So you can do just like a static hold of this one, or I like to add a bit of movement into it, reaching in front, middle, and behind, or as close to those spots as you can. My other favorite one to get a deeper stretch is to actually walk my hands behind my legs or use the backs of my feet to help pull myself deeper into this stretch. Whatever level you're at, just stick with that and do what works for you. Alright, next, down onto the ground, you're going to want to put your feet out in front of you, just a little bit wider than your hips, and you're just going to drop each knee down to the ground. This is a really nice gentle warm-up for your hips. Next, we're going to come down into this weird middles lunge. For this one, you really want to make sure that you tuck your pelvis under. So you're not letting your bum poke out the back, you're actually thinking about tucking it under. You also want to try and get your legs as far out as you can. If you need them a bit more in front, that's okay. You can then pop your hands on your knees and you can use them to push your hips out. Okay, our next one, we are going to go from this position that we were in before, and we're going to bend that knee and drop down. You can flex your foot, or oh, that was a good pop, or you can point it. If you struggle to like stand in this position because you don't have very flexible ankles, you can pop a little like block or like a t-shirt or a sweat towel just underneath your ankle to help you stay down here. And then over onto the other side. and then coming up. Next we're going to jump into our lunge position. And we're going to put one hand down on the ground next to our knee and the other hand down on the ground. This is quite a deep stretch, so if you can just get to here or with your hand on a yoga block or something, that's fine. You definitely want to try and bring that foot a little bit further out to the side compared to a normal lunge where it's right in front of your hip. And that'll bring this stretch a bit more into your hip. If you can get a little bit further down, that's awesome. One of my personal favourite things to do to get a bit of movement into this stretch is to actually put my hand on my knee and just push it out to the side and bring it back in. And then see how far down you can get your upper body. This is quite a deep stretch for your hip, so just go as far as you can. And then coming back up, and we're gonna swap sides. Then coming back into the middle and seeing how far you can get down. And coming back up. We're now going to hop into our pancake. So this is a little bit different to your middle splits because you're more staying on your bum and your knees and your toes face towards the roof. Middles, they face the other way. When you're first starting these, just go as far out as your legs will allow you, and then just like your hamstring stretch, you really want to make sure that your back is flat and you're not rounding it. And then just try and walk your hands out as far as you can get them. One of my favorite little exercises to do in this pancake position is to bring my legs in a little bit closer just to make it easy, and then if I find that too easy, I'll take my legs out wider. Both of my hands above my head, and then slowly with control, I lower myself down to the ground and then bring myself back up. If I find that a bit easy, I'll take my legs out a little bit wider and I'll see if I can do it out there. Four, 5, and 6. All right. Give your legs a little shake. Then we're going to come into our froggy. So one of the most important things when you're doing this one is that your foot is in line with your knee. Your feet coming in a bit closer changes all of the angles, and it doesn't make the stretch as effective as it could be when your leg is straight. Well, when the bottom half of your leg is in line. And you also want to make sure that your knees are in line with your bum and that you are tucking your bum under. No arched backs. It's almost like one half of a square. Alright, from froggy, you're going to straighten one leg out to the side as if you were doing like half of your middles, and you're going to do the same thing there. So keeping the other side exactly where it was in your froggy. You can either point your toe or you can flex it. And then swapping sides. Alright, and coming out and giving your legs and your hips a little wriggle out, give them a chance to relax. My favorite is doing this one just because it really shakes out from the stretch. If you're more of an intermediate or advanced, you could keep going and challenge yourself a little bit. So next up, we're just going to go into our full middle splits. Making sure you're keeping that pelvis tucked under and not arching your back. Just using your hands for support and just try and go down as far as you can go. Coming out and giving your hips a little rest and a wriggle. For a slightly more advanced and more intense stretch, you can grab some yoga blocks, or I don't have yoga blocks, so I'm going to use a foam roller, and you can elevate one foot in your pancake. This will help get your legs nice and flexible and help you to get nice lines with your legs in your handstand. And then swapping sides. Low battery. Love that for me. And then you can jump into your middle splits elevated. You could do this in your half froggy position as well. My camera's about to die. No. Other side of your elevated middles. Oh, coming out and giving your legs a good wriggle, and time to decompress after those very intense middle split stretches. And that concludes the stretching part of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you want more stretching flexibility kind of videos, I will leave a bunch here in the little cardi things. So check them out if you do like this kind of content. And as always, if you did like this video, please give a like because it really supports my channel and the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe if you want to see more. And hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified anytime there's a new video, because there are some great videos coming up for the rest of this month. So stay tuned for them. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. So having